Hi there, Nikki with Lavish Goods here today to talk to you about a couple of crystals that I personally am going to be using in the upcoming week or so, and that I thought I would talk to you about as well. So it's December 2024, and we are in the midst of a super fun, sarcasm, Mercury retrograde. We are also coming up on a full moon in a few days on December 15th. And December 15th is also the day that the Mercury retrograde ends, meaning that Mercury turns direct. And for those of you who are at all familiar with the retrograde, you know that we also have what's called a shadow period. So that doesn't mean that December 16th, everything is all easy peasy again. We typically have a little bit of a shadow. But I thought that these two crystals in particular are going to be especially supportive during this full moon / end of the Mercury retrograde. So I'm a firm believer that the Mercury retrograde, it gets a bad rap, and for reasons that I fully understand. This one has been particularly challenging for me. Nothing big, but just lots and lots of super inconvenient, irritating things mostly with technology and travel. I could tell you many stories from the last couple of weeks that it just never seems to end. So there absolutely is some truth to that. At least I believe there is, and I know many of us do. It's also a time, it can be a really fantastic time for a lot of, spiritual practices, but you don't even have to think of them as spiritual. But it's a great time, like it's retrograde, that RE, retrograde. So to me, it's a great time to revisit, revamp, redo, things like that, reconsider, all the REs, remodel. So I also take the time of a retrograde to look at what I can purge, whether those are physical things out of my life, like, hey, let's go take a run through the closet and the dressers and see what we can get rid of, or the kitchen cabinets where you've got things that you haven't used in 7 years. So it's a great time to purge those things. It's also a great time to purge energetic things. Energies that are no longer serving us, or we oftentimes, especially as us empaths, we tend to take on the energy of those around us. So it's a great time to release that as well. And both of these crystals are going to be super helpful with that. And so then we also throw in the energy of the full moon. The full moon is really a time of letting go. It's sort of the culmination of a cycle, right? It's the end, the end of the beginning. It's sort of a weird way to say it. It's the end of the beginning part of the moon cycle, right? We go from a new moon into a full moon and then back to a new moon. So that full moon is sort of the culmination of that beginning part of the cycle. And it's a time to release. So when you combine this powerful full moon energy along with sort of the wrapping up of a Mercury retrograde, it's such a fantastic time to release and to let things go. Especially those energies that are no longer serving us. So Carnelian, that's what we've got right here. This is one of my favorite specimens that I've ever had of Carnelian. I just love this, and I love this in particular. To me, this is sort of like a little doorway, a little entrance. Carnelian is really good for courage and strength, which can be important when we're trying to let go of certain energetic things, especially if they are things that we're comfortable with, right? They're oftentimes we might carry energies or behaviors that we know aren't good for us, but sometimes it's a little more comfortable to carry that around rather than to get rid of it, because to purge it, to let it go, can be a little scary, right? Because that's something new now that we need to look at. So this can help promote courage and strength. It can help promote inner peace, and it's also a transformative stone. This sort of reddish orangish color is associated with fire, and fire is a very transformative element, right? So this is just a really fantastic crystal for this time. One of my other favorites, of course, is amethyst. I know this is a pretty common crystal for people to have. Not to say that it's ordinary in any sense. It can be a very powerful crystal. But amethyst is very good at promoting calm. If you're feeling anxious or agitated or angry or just sort of like wound up, like you've just kind of your mind spinning, this is super super calming and just a very soothing stone. And so when you use these two together, you're really creating this energy of being able to release, letting things go that are no longer serving you, finding the strength and the courage to do that while also promoting a sense of calm.